I don't make an effort since since I got clean and sober. I haven't made an effort to, hang out with or whatever, communicate with, those people that I drank and did drugs with. But on the flip side of that, they haven't tried to contact me either. It's like, or it's like when you're hanging out with certain people, your homeboys or whatever,
right,
doing the same things, doing whatever you're doing out there with your homeboys, drinking, drugging, or robbing, or shooting stuff up. It's like, so long as you're working for the common cause, they're your homies.
Yeah.
Or your friends or whatever. But, once you start going a different direction, you find out who your real friends are, your real homies, because they will, come with you, or still communicate with you.
Oh, yeah.
And the rest of them, they're still going that other way. And so it's like, they don't have anything to do with you. They don't want anything to do with you.
They don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And my old saying is, I always tell everybody, less friends, less problems. That's just how it is. Yeah. Less friends, less problems, my circle is very small, and I keep it that way for a reason, because I don't need the problems. But, I'm always open, if somebody would address something to my attention about something, if I can help, I help, and it's just, you have to use common sense in life, especially in that life that we're living now. You have to use common sense. You have to be common sensible individual. You got to think things through before you get involved in it. If it's not right and you don't think it's going to bring any righteousness out of it, then it ain't right. Don't do it. I mean, the duck's a white duck, but if they keep telling you it's yellow, something's wrong with them, because you see a white duck, they're telling you a yellow duck. No, it's not a yellow duck, dude. So that is a white duck. So I'm sticking with that white duck.
Yeah.
So you got to be, just got to be real with yourself, and people got to be real with life, life. I met a lady at one of my deliveries. I deliver at night times, and one of my 7-Elevens over here in Puyallup. I met the lady that works there, and she's a really nice lady. Just the other night, the guy that works there told me she died. I met her last week, talking with her. Oh yeah, I'm working double hours. I'm tired and to go home. And then I see him the other night. Hey, what's the other lady? She's not working no more? No, she passed away. She died. And that's his roommate. It was his roommate. He said, it was my roommate, and we had got into an argument last week, and I just got mad at her. I just wish you just died. And he felt bad about it. He was talking to me about it, and he teared up like, man, I said that, man. I didn't mean it. And she died. And I was like, you know what? I always tell people, taste your words before you spit them out. Taste them, because you don't want to say one thing and then you regret it. Because words hurt. Yeah. And sometimes you can't fix it. You can say I'm sorry and everything's gonna be okay, but the damage is done. Don't know how deep the damage is, but it's done. It's like a cracked mirror. If you ever have the mirror you look in with the handle one, if you crack it, it still stays together because it didn't break. It just cracked. Yeah. But when you look in it, you get a double vision of yourself, because now with the crack, it's showing two of you, and you're like, now you look into a split mirror, and now you gotta like make a decision. Do I buy a new one, or do I keep looking in this cracked mirror and then decipher which one I want to look at? This one over here or this one? Yeah. So, and life is like that. You have to treat life, with humbleness. Yeah, definitely. Well, what you were just saying about, taste your words before you spit them out. That brings to mind, prime example that I'm recalling was when my ex-wife, now ex-wife, and I were there at the house in Bonnie Lake and splitting up all our stuff, moving it out. Right.
There was one point where I don't know, I was sort of against it. I wanted, I was like sort of agitated or frustrated
Right.
that the whole thing was going down like that. And I'm like, I got angry at one point and said something. I forget the exact words, but I know it was, I shouldn't have said it. But anyway, then a couple minutes later, maybe a minute later, maybe a few seconds later, I started getting angry again. I felt it coming up. And I'm like, I started to say something and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You know what? And then this is what I said. I'm like, no, wait. Never mind. I wish you joy. And I left it at that and I walked off. And that was that.
And that was a good feeling, huh? You
Yeah.
felt good about it because if you would have said what you were going to say, it wasn't a hurt. It was a double-edged sword. It would have hurt both of you guys.
Yeah, it would have hurt her and it would have hurt me because I'd been like, man, why did I say that? And then I'd have regretted it.
Yeah, and we do that all the time. We'll sit there and, when you used to drink a lot and get all sick and then I'm never drinking again. Oh, my goodness. And then all of a sudden you wake up and then I'm feeling better today. Okay. Then you go right back and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
And, the reprobate mind will do that to you over and over if you allow it to, unless you take charge and say, you know what, I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like you did. You took charge of that moment. You was going to say something very ugly and mean. And then when you thought about it, you said, no, because it'll hurt her, but it'll hurt me twice because I said it.
Yeah. And it's like instead of throwing that sword or throwing that knife at her, that my anger, I, just transmuted it right then and there. And I'm like, what can I do instead? I can just wish her joy. And so I did. I'm like, I wish you joy.
Yeah.
In whatever you do. And walked off. And it's like,
and she probably remembers that. She probably remembers that every day. She hears that what you said. She hears your voice and she hears that, I wish you joy.
Yeah.
She hears it every day. And guess what? In her mind, she's thinking, you know what? That was a kind thing that he said. That was nice. He could have said otherwise. He could have said something ugly, but you can't, how would you say, you can't expect something good come out of something ugly unless, it's something that you think it's going to benefit two people or anybody. You say the right thing because it's the right thing to say.
Well, and it's like something I learned early on in the 12-step program I am in. Early on, so I was like, I started going to meetings when I was like, 17?
Right.
Probably like 17 or 18. I heard and learned, about the process of making amends.
Right.
And making amends, sure, it's maybe it'll comfort and console the other party, the party that we're making amends to.
Right.
It'll comfort and console them, maybe a little bit. But it's more cleaning up our side of the street,
Right.
And, so it's like just that part about that I switched it around and said, I wish you joy. It's just like flipping it around, transmuting the situation. So, it's presenting positivity to her. And so that more presenting positivity on my part.
Right.
Not so much. I mean, a benefit is that I won't regret saying the negative thing.
Right. Exactly.
That's a benefit, but it's more for presenting positive.
Yeah, because you would have been like the guy that I just talked about. What if you would have told her, I wish you die?
Yeah.
And just like he did, he actually did tell her that. I wish you just die, girl. And then a week later, she died in her bed, and he felt bad about that. So it hurted him now. Now he's hurting because he's like, man, why did I say that?
Did that happen to be 7-Eleven up on 38th?
No, this was the new one in Puyallup, Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, but other than that, I mean, that stuff right there hurts. And when you make a choice and decision to choice words and what words you want to say, because, guess what? Those words are lasting. You got to make a decision, make choices. be better with your words and be knowledgeable, understanding that people got feelings and you got feelings and everybody else got feelings.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and that's just it, the name of the show, Positive Vibes.
Exactly.
Or just like the original that is ages old is Positive Vibes, or good vibes, good energy, just energy.
But they got to get you a book so they can understand it, right? They got to, man.
Well, yeah, that would be bomb. And by the way, my book is on Amazon Kindle. But at any rate, that's what it all boils down to is, just positivity and putting, what are we putting out there into the universe?
Right.
Into the cities we live in, into our circle of people, circle of friends and family.
Right.
What kind of energy are we putting out there? Are we putting positive energy out, or are we putting negative energy out?
Right.
Whatever just remember that, like we were talking about earlier, the seeds we plant are the forest that will grow,
Exactly.
or the garden that will grow. And so, put positive seeds out there, you'll grow a positive garden or positive forest.
Exactly. So true. So true. I'm with that. I'm with that. The more seeds we plant, the more we can get out of it. And like you said, if it's 1,000 seeds we put out there and only 1,005 of them grow, that's a great thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Yeah. Well, it's an honor, man. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be on your show and stuff. I'm honored to...
Yeah, I know you said a while back, hey, man, I'd love to be a guest on your show. Well, now we're doing it. Now you're a guest on my show.
Well, I'm glad to be a guest, and I appreciate you guys honoring me, let me come over here and share a little bit. And same time, man, if anything I can do to help you out, you already know. You know where I live at.
Under the same roof. Right downstairs. All right. Well, thank you very, very much for coming on and sharing your story and, how you switched things around, transmuted that the negative energy you were putting out, in the gangs and everything, doing all that stuff, and now helping to prevent others from going that route. And
well, thank you much for inviting me. I hope somebody out there got the message and then turned their life around.
Hopefully, that's the seed we're trying to plant anyway. And at that, I guess I'll just wrap it up. It's about that time. So thank you very much for tuning in to Positive Vibes this week. And I just want to thank you very much and remind you just to stay kind, optimistic, and grateful, and have a phenomenal day and phenomenal week. And we'll all be back next week, same time, same place. So see you then. Ciao.